All right, guys, welcome. Well, I just wanted to provide you a quick update. We've got a lot of things happening in the market, and I do believe we are on the brink of a breakout very soon here. Not just in our overall stock market here in the US, but also in the crypto space. And I'm going to briefly touch on why I think this is imminent, and we'll talk about some of the patterns I see, as well as this new indicator system that I have been monitoring closely. All right, so I'm going to jump straight to the dollar as always. And you can see here that this M pattern has played out. Okay, the first part of the M was the top part of that ascending wedge. We then broke down as predicted and came back up again as predicted. And then we went down again as predicted. Though I won't say I got this, I got the pattern 100%. I did not expect the dollar to break quite so fast. In fact, I was thinking we might bounce here on this pink ascending trend line, but actually we broke straight through that. We came down to our 100 support, all right? And actually, as I'm doing this video, I can see there is another pattern about to play out here. Some of you guys who are experts of this have probably already spotted this. All right, it looks like we got a W pattern going on here. And if I was a betting man, I would say we'd be going back up at least to that pink ascending trend line, which acted as support previously. You can see it acted as support way back here in January, and then way back here in July of 2023. All right, it did not act as support here in August when we broke straight through, but I do think we'll probably come back up to retest that support. And that W pattern is confirming that, as well as see this horizontal or this vertical green trend line. That's my new indicator system showing us that the dollar is a buy. And I have been monitoring, of course, some of you guys know I've been talking about this a lot. I'm about ready to implement a new strategy here based upon this indicator combo. It looks like it's going to be very accurate, more accurate at least than the way that I've been doing things, which is drawing out these patterns and basically taking a probability bet based upon the patterns that I'm seeing. But of course, you know, your strategy is only as good as the patterns that you spot. And you know, I readily admit I'm not one that I would catch everything. And though we've been doing well in our trading, and basically we've only been trading altcoins in a sideways to down market, excluding the end of last year to the beginning of this year. You know, it's been 2.5 years of downwards to sideways action in the altcoin space, but we still managed to double our portfolio, only going long in an altcoin space, non-leveraged, no shorts, so I think that's a fairly good record. But I want to do better, and so I was happy to accidentally discover this kind of this indicator combo, and it's looking like it's going to be very promising. So I'm excited to offer that to my subscribers who are paying for those signals. I think we're going to do very well in the next couple of years here. Anyways, that indicator system has flashed green for the dollar, meaning that it is also indicating optimism for the dollar getting stronger. That is all right. So we need to pay attention to the dollar getting stronger, because often that influences the market. If it doesn't go up at a high rate of speed, I think the market's going to be okay, meaning the US stock market, meaning the market could also potentially go up depending upon what the VIX does. So let's take a look at the VIX. All right, and the VIX here is back down to our channel. Of course, this channel, guys, we've been in this channel. Let me get my vertical line. We've been in this channel basically since June of 2023, excluding a few times we popped out of it. And of course, more recently, we popped out of it again. That was the Japanese carry trade. It caused a lot of fear. And now we're back down using it as support. But we could actually enter back into that, or the VIX could stay low. And if the VIX stays low, that's really the key ingredient here on future analysis. All right. So the dollar looks like it would go up, which would put a little bit of pressure on the market. The VIX, however, staying low is key. If the VIX does stay low, I think the market will go up. All right, so the indicator system doesn't really work as well on the VIX. The VIX is all over the place. Of course, anything can happen in geopolitical situations. Macroeconomic environment could change rapidly in one place or another. So it's really hard to predict the VIX, but we can use these patterns here to help clue us in a little bit. All right, so dollar going up a little bit. Let me just jump back to that chart. I mean, that's not much of an incline, and that 102 level would probably be, let me see, is that actually a level? The level is more around, let me just draw a square. It's more around this area-ish, but we could squeeze through that area and hit the bottom of that pink ascending trend line. But, you're not looking at that much of a gain on the dollar. Maybe a percent, maybe 1.5%, and that's about it. All right. So VIX staying low, dollar rising a little bit, but not much, means that the SPY could still take off in that exit theory that I posted a few weeks ago. Let's take a look at what's going on here. And you can see these, again, these vertical lines are my indicator. The last indicator that I got was green. It was optimistic for the SPY. And in fact, you can see I drew a little bit of what could potentially be a cup and handle pattern. And we actually, let me get out my arrow here, most recently on Thursday and Friday, broke that neckline. All right, so that is also positive. Now, what's interesting is we hit almost exactly my target. See this target over here of the inverse cup and handle? All right, so that's also could be an inverse head and shoulders. Let me zoom out here so you can see that better. Here is the left shoulder. Here is the head and the right shoulder. That gave me a target of 570, which we have now hit. But on the weekly, let me pause the video and get up the weekly stuff. Okay, so here's my weekly chart, and I am in the weekly candle mode. And you can see I drew another cup and handle, which we did break the neckline on. And you'll remember a few weeks ago, I wasn't sure if this was going to be invalidated because we broke below that with that Japanese carry trade. But sure enough, next week we took off and did not confirm the invalidation of this cup and handle pattern, meaning that it is still valid and it looks like we are starting to take off. The target here on this weekly cup and handle pattern would take us all the way up anywhere from 660 to 700 or more, depending on how bullish this blow off top gets. And I've talked about the blow off top in many of my other videos, so if you guys want to see that, that's based on Elliott wave and also various different patterns supporting that blow off top theory. So I think the market here will continue to act irrational. We kind of have to wait this next week to see where we go. My previous target here was 570, and we're right up against that target now. That was the target for that inverse head and shoulders pattern. Sometimes I was calling it a cup and handle pattern. Either way, the target was the same. All right, so if the SPY or the U.S. stock market, I'm just tracking the SPY to kind of keep tabs on what the U.S. stock markets do. If the SPY continues to take off, like what we're seeing here, again, the last indicator was green, meaning it's positive, it's bullish, then we should see crypto follow, because crypto really just, I know you don't want to believe this, but crypto does what the U.S. stock market does for the most part. All right, there's not been a separation of the two yet. So let's just jump over to Bitcoin now, and I've got to put it back in the daily mode, and we'll get a few things up here on this chart. All right, so first of all, my indicator, see the arrow here pointing to this vertical green line. That's when my indicator combination flash screen, and I've been keeping in close tabs. I'm still experimenting and testing that, guys. It's going to take a little while. I want to prove it to be as accurate as I think it will be, and I have to use all sorts of different alert systems and confirmations, and so I'm just playing around with this for a while. Please be patient with me, my Substack followers and subscribers. I'm doing my best here to get us the best indicator possible. I think the way it's looking, this could be 85-90% accurate after the repaints. So that's going to be a better average than we're batting thus far, especially in a bull run. Anyways, we've got the green signal here by my indicator combination. And you can see this orange line here. That's the 350-day moving average, which is also the 50-week moving average. We came down, kissed that a couple times just recently, all right? And that proved to be a valuable support. It held us. And right in this area, we had the 350-week moving average intersecting the bottom of that channel. That gives us a big area of confluence, and that's exactly when my indicator flashed as well, indicating we're probably, we may struggle over the weekend, but see this red line here? That's a 200-day moving average. I think we're going to head back above that 200-day moving average again into next week. And then we are going to be battling once again with the top of this bullish channel. All right. I say bullish because this is basically a bull flag. All right. So we had, and I'm going to pause the video and get out my cup and handle pattern here. Okay, once again, I called it a cup and handle, but it could also be an inverse head and shoulders pattern, all right? This being the left shoulder, the head, the right shoulder, or you could call this a cup and handle. It doesn't matter. The target is the same. The target takes us to 88 to 92,000 by the end of the year. I'm sticking to that, guys. I always have been. I've been sticking to that for the last year and a half, that we will be at 88 to 90,000 by the end of the year, which means we have to break out of this bull flag soon. All right. I consider this the test, the retest of the neckline, that Japanese carryover trade. That's when we flash crashed. And look at that wick here, guys. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so you can see it better. When we broke the bottom of this channel, but did not confirm a break of this channel, that was such good news for us. All right. So that meant two things happened here, guys. We not only tested the neckline of this inverse head and shoulders pattern, which is absolutely what we needed. We always have to retest or test or retest to make it technically sound. All right. So that confirms the inverse head and shoulders pattern is actually valid, because we retested that and we bounced quickly. And look what happened after we rebounced off of that neckline. We came right back up into our channel and stayed there. We did not confirm any break of this channel. So this bull flag is still valid. Meaning, I think it's perfectly possible over the next week, week and a half, that we will break the top of this channel. Now, I'm not saying there's not going to be FUD. The market manipulators, the market makers, whatever you want to call them, they may shake out some of the longs, so we come back down to this level of support. We could even come back down to the bottom of the channel, guys, or the 350-day moving average. I'm not even putting that out of the realm of possibility. But right now, my indicator is flashing green, and we have all these positive signs, and time is drawing short, guys. For us to get to that target, again, by the end of the year, 88 to 92,000, we have to soon break out of this channel and move up. All right, so that's what I'm looking at right now. And of course, Bitcoin is our lead dog. All right, so one of the strategies that I've been talking about, I suppose I could zoom in and talk to you here for a quick minute, is implementing this new indicator system that I have. And so one of the things that I want to do is I want to reduce down so that I'm not trading all, hundreds of different cryptos and looking at all of these things. It's kind of time consuming. And I think with a more accurate signal system, a more accurate indicator, we can profit on both sides, both the long and the short. And because we're going to get hopefully more accurate trades In other words, we're going to raise our win to loss ratio. We don't actually need to be trading those smaller cap altcoins and meme coins. At least I don't actually need to be. Not to say that I'm not going to from time to time. It sure is fun. I made 80% on guac over the last week and a half. And that was definitely fun. So we'll do one or two of those. But I find that my indicator system is not so accurate on the highly volatile assets, which happens to be the small cap, the meme coins, the penny stocks, etc., etc. Additionally, with my indicator system, I am going to start to implement stocks. And you saw me put out a free trade this week on Google. All right, we got an indicator from Google. Let's just take a look at that real quick since I'm talking about it, and I can explain what happened here. So I don't actually have the indicator. Oh yeah, there it is. All right, so we got our indicator back on the 11th of September, 911. We got the Google signal. And what I like to do with this indicator, because I'm still testing it, is I wait a few days just to make sure that it's going to do its thing. And then I put out that post. All right, so the indicator is green now. And what I'm debating, guys, is do I set a target and then sell, or do I just wait for the indicator to flash red? So right now, that is where I have to take a little bit of time to solve this dilemma. I don't necessarily know what the right thing to do is at this point, but I think what I'm planning to do is just wait for the signal to flash red, and then I send you guys a notification via a Substack as I do. All right, so that is currently the plans. Let me zoom back in here. And I'm excited. I'm hoping that this is going to work out for all of us, guys. You know, it comes to this. There is no, in the way I look at life, there is no such thing as failure. You either win or you learn. And though I've been winning, I'm not as happy with my success rate, my win to loss ratio, how much we've profited over the last 2.5 years. I think that should be a lot higher. So I had to change something. I had to do something different to give us a higher win to loss ratio. And again, when you're batting 85, 90% on swing trades, it's one thing if you're day trading, you get that kind of rate. Yeah, you can do that all day. But my followers, you know, we don't have that type of flexibility and that mobility to enter those trades that quickly. So I'm trying to develop a strategy that gives you all time to enter into a trade and still make buco profit. And that's why I am sticking to the swing trades. Now, the time that will be in the swing trades might increase a little bit, but that's okay. You guys just wait for those alerts. And once you get those, you enter the trade and you should do well. All right, so bear with me, guys. I'm still working all this out, and I hope we have something very successful in the future. Until the next video, peace, y'all. End.